already established that I notified you about the ER visits, the 26th and 29th beforehand. And then what happened?
What was your answer?
I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
And then what happened at the visits? Correct?
Correct.
And did you respond to me in any way, shape, or form about?
Was it text message?
In any way, shape, or form, did you respond to me in any way, shape, or form about, like a response, when I told you what was going on at the visits? Did you respond to me in any way, shape, or form?
No.
Alright, so is it pretty safe to say that at his visits, I would notify you before the visits, what happened at the visits? Is it safe to say that?
Objection vague as to what visits you're talking about, just the 2 in May?
The majority of all the visits.
Well, you have to. Which ones? Because you've already talked about the 26th and the 29th. So if you're asking about that, it's already been asked and answered.
Then about when I took Alicio to the... Did I ever text you about Alicio being referred to the gastro doctor?
On your end?
Like, okay, so we know I took him to the ER for whatever, and then I was referred. Did I ever tell you I was referred to the gastro doctor?
I'm pretty sure.
Did you respond to me?
Probably not.
So I took Alicio. Do you remember what day I took Alicio to Dr. Sheik?
No, I don't.
June 30th. Okay. Did I notify you of the gastro visit in any way, shape, or form?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yes. Did you respond?
No.
Did I inform you of what happened at that visit?
Yes.
Was I referred to a urologist at the June 30th visit with Dr. Sheik?
I'm not sure.
Objection beyond Ms. Quaint's personal knowledge. I believe she was not at that visit to know.
Did I inform you? Did I text you? Did I email, talking parents message you that I was referred to a urologist for Alicio at that visit?
I'm not sure. On alarm, I think.
What's that?
I said it's probably my vibrator, my phone.
Your phone vibrating.
Yeah. Oh yeah, good luck finding it.
your family ever tell Aliana that Nicole and I were lying about Alicia's health?
In the beginning, we just didn't know what was going on, so it was just hard to
Is it a
understand.
Yes or no?
Can you ask the question again?
Yeah.
I think we asked
Did
for.
you and your family ever tell Aliana that me and Nicole were lying about Alicia's health conditions?
No, not lying. Just not understanding.
Okay. Refer to Exhibit 39, please. Request admission number 35. Admit that you would tell Aliana that Ryan and his wife were lying about Alicia's condition. Can you read me this response, please?
Admit.
So, you just said no a second ago, but in your admit answers you said yes. Okay, this would be one of the reasons why Aliana was upset with me at that time, leading up to her interview. Okay. And she thought we were lying about everything in order to keep him. Do you think that had an effect on Aliana emotionally?
I didn't hear your answer. Yes.
Did you say that to her? Did you tell her we were lying? In an attempt to make her think I was just keeping Alicia for no reason.
I'm telling you, we were
Yes or no?
misinformed, not understanding. No.
Was I trying to communicate with you regarding Alicio and his health conditions from the time I picked him up from school, May 23rd, until court in July 2016?
Can you say it again? I'm sorry.
Was I trying to communicate with you? Was I trying to co-parent with you in regards to Alicio's medical conditions from the time I picked him up from school, May 23rd or 22nd, till court in July 2016?
You were informing me of his diagnosis, but, I still didn't hear from Alicio or got to speak with him in that 2 months that you had him.
Was I trying to communicate with you regarding Alicio's medical condition from the time I picked him up from school until court in July 2016?
I said you were telling me
Okay,
about
is it
his,
a yes, no? So that's a yes, correct?
I guess if that's what
Okay.
communicating and co-parenting is.
Yes, I was.
Okay.
So it seems like before court even started, I was trying to co-parent with her, communicate with her.
Well, wouldn't you let me speak with my son when I asked you on the phone when you would try to communicate about
Did
his...
I ever call you or text you stating Alicio wants to talk to you?
Yes. One time I was asleep. It was late at night. Had him leave a message, but I still didn't get to speak with my son the rest of the time.
Clarify, it was numerous times, it was not just one time. But
No, one time that I got a message from him.
Did I inform you Alicio had an appointment with the urologist on July 11th, 2016?
Sure, you did.
Did you ever at that point state to me he's already seen a doctor for his bladder, for his urinary problems, and that he's on medication?
I stated that he's seen Dr. Pimentel.
Is Dr. Pimentel a urologist specialist?
Right, no. So I never took him to a bladder specialist.
Okay, that's just weird to me because I remember in a motion letter informing stating that Alicio has been seeing a doctor for his
Right,
urinary
Dr. Pimentel.
problems and has been on medication for years because it's hereditary.
So what's your
Was- there
question?
was-
Hold on, guys. Hold on. I'm trying to follow.
So if I told you that I was going to take Alicio to the urologist, why didn't you ever tell me he was already seeing a urologist and he's already been taking medication for years? Because it didn't happen. He did not go to a urologist.
Correct.
Hold on, hold on.
He had not been taking medication for years.
So is your question that he really wasn't taking medication for years or going to a urologist?
No, I'm just saying, I told her I was going to take him to a urologist, so why didn't you tell me he already been seeing one and he's already taking medication for it?
Okay, so let her answer the question.
I never took him to a urologist. I just took
Okay.
him.
Hold on.
That's
Stop.
what we
Let her finish.
said already.
Okay, I just need to get it straight.
That I just took him to his primary doctor, and I just kept asking her, and there was no
Was
medication.
she prescribing medication?
No, there was no medication for his bladder.
Okay.
I said that my brother had the heredity. It's hereditary in our family, and he took medication.
Okay. So, Ryan. Okay, you can follow up now.
Will you please refer to Exhibit 70?
Mm-hmm.
Under subjective, the very bottom, the last no, the state no prior treatment. Correct? Okay. Okay, flip the page, please. Same 70, second page. Under assessment, does it say diurnal incontinence with urgency and frequency? And does it say urinary incontinence nocturnal enuresis, overactive bladder, and urinary frequency.
Mm-hmm.
Does it anywhere state in the assessment that it is hereditary?
But when you took him to this, you probably didn't tell him that either. But no, it does not say that.
This is a medical professional's assessment, and he did not make any assessment about anything having to do with it being a hereditary issue.
Is your urologist?
Yes.
Do you disagree that it's hereditary?
I don't disagree that the nighttime bedwetting may possibly, if she says it runs in her family, and if she says she pees herself sometimes, that, okay, well, it may be hereditary then, because they said she has the same issue and she pees
I don't
herself.
have the same issue. My dad, my sister, my stepbrother, my brother.
How's your stepbrother have it if he's not related?
I mean, my half brother, not stepbrother.
Okay.
Sorry.
All right,
So it's from my dad. My dad.
Okay, so go ahead.
My dad's mom, my dad, my brother, my half brother, and that's where I've known it's came in play. And my mom even took my brother, my personal brother, to the doctors when he was younger to get him on medication and stuff. But it's just been in our family. So when Alicio has it, I'm not thinking it's, something wrong. I'm thinking it's just passed down from, generation to generation. That's, I guess that's my fault for not taking him to the urologist.
Okay, but in the end, it's something that can be addressed and is being addressed with medication, correct?
Yes.
Correct?
Yes.
Once I took him to the urologist.
I understand.
That's what
I
she's
understand. I understand. I get it. All right. So I just want to make sure that I'm just trying to figure out what your point is about the fact that the doctor didn't say it was hereditary. I mean, at the end of the day, is it relevant to this case in terms of whether that doctor's
Back full.
Harling in a letter, maybe in opposition or a motion or something, stated that it's a hereditary issue. He's been seeing a urologist and been on medication for years.
Okay, but
and
it's not been put into evidence here at trial. So we know now that from her testimony, she didn't take him to a urologist. She was just going to the regular doctor. You took him to her urologist, and so everybody now is on.
Right.
So we know it was you,
Okay,
and she's admitting that it was
maybe
you.
that's a part where there was miscommunication or got it wrong, because Farley said that she pees her pants, she has the same problem, and that it's within the norm.
What's within the norm of having?
For Alicio to be peeing himself.
I've never stated that.
I don't think anybody said that, but maybe you misunderstood that.
Letter.
Okay, I don't have those letters because that's not a part of the trial. Okay, so whether she said it in a letter,
Do you not get a? Because
get the letters that you-
motions between.
you're saying the
letters
motions.
between and the
Stop,
opposition-
stop. I get all that stuff, but
Oh, okay.
but I can't
I wasn't-
entertain. Stop. What's only thing I can entertain is what's admitted today,
Oh.
and the first day of trial, and probably the last day of trial.
I'm thinking like everything throughout every single court date.
No, but you're doing fine because you're raising issues that were raised at other court dates, and you're saying that you're doing fine. But in terms of if there's a document that said something before that really isn't, I guess you're trying to discredit the letter. But at the end of the day, we know how it went down based upon your testimony. So I don't need to hear any more about whether it was Ms. McFarling said something. Does that make sense? I mean. On this issue, and I'm not saying you can't do it at other times, but on this issue, I've heard enough, okay? So if there's another issue that comes up where Ms. McFarling or her client has made a representation, you're welcome to bring it up.
And that's my
But
goal,
on this
dude.
one,
Okay, that's perfect. Go ahead.
totally heard enough about who took the child and who did what. Okay, go ahead, move on.
Did I notify you of Elicio's second gastro visit on July 12th, 2006 with Dr. Sheep?
I don't recall.
Did I update you on what had happened at that visit?
I don't recall.
Okay. Oh, I did like every other visit. So, why would you not take me seriously or not believe that there was issues with Elicio when I'm taking him to these doctors, I'm telling you about the appointments, making it available for you to be there, whether you show up or not, and then telling you what happens, updating you on the visit of what went on? Why would you not believe me or act like Elicio doesn't have a health condition and that it's within the norm?
In the beginning, it was just, I didn't have, a lawyer yet, and I didn't want to respond and that kind of stuff. And then, as it grew and I couldn't talk to Elicio over and over and over again, it was just really hard for me to hear you telling me that you're taking him to all these doctor's appointments to make me look like a bad person. That's where it came about. But
If you felt like you were a bad person just simply because I'm telling you I'm taking him to the specialist, or what happened when I went to the specialist, then, that's not...
there was no need for me to respond. You're taking him. What do you want me to say? I didn't have a lawyer to help me out with... Why is your face like that? Back then, I couldn't...
He's referred to specialist because has an intestinal blockage.
Right, and back then, when you took him, it did a lot of damage on me. Regardless if you think it did or not, it did.
It did a lot of damage on you?
Like, personally, just emotionally, personally. So getting to anything from Ryan about my son, it just, weighed on me, regardless if he was doing it or not. Okay, do it. Take him. You have him. Take him to the doctors. I don't know what you wanted me to respond on, just so that you can come back and lash at me for, just...
So it was your perception that it was part of...
It wasn't because I didn't care. No, it wasn't a scheme.
Hold on. I'm asking her a question. So, go ahead. You were responding.
It wasn't that I didn't care. It's just, like I said,
So did you perceive that he was attacking you by telling you all this
all the
stuff?
time, but that's not, it just...
I think his face was shocked because he thought that regardless of how it made you feel...
It was our son,
it was
correct.
your son. Right, yeah.
But, what he's not understanding by him taking him from me when I've always had him, it just... I didn't... Even when I got my first lawyer, it was still hard for me to open talking parent after we seen you the first time. Because it just gave me that anxiety. I don't know, it was just like... Thank you.
Take a break.
It's not that I didn't care, because I cared. But he was taking him already. He was doing what he had to do. He was obviously in good hands if he found out all these problems.
Right. Okay. Any more questions? Are you, let me ask you this. Let me try to phrase it. So now, are you both on the same page in terms of we know this is what his problem is and we're both addressing it?
I get the medicine and that's that, but
Is it helping? I'm talking about the bladder issue at this point.
oh, I don't know. He's saying that he has to go back and get, probably go back to that appointment.
Urologist?
That, yeah. But you gave me the ability to make these appointments, and I know this is probably going to come up later, but he decided to, after our last trial, make all the appointments and take him and my daughter to all these other appointments. So,
Right. Okay. All right. Go ahead, Ryan.
Should I elaborate on that?
Yeah, sure. Well, elaborate on the appointment issue.
Yeah.
Between you two, or between what I ordered, or regarding what I ordered, because you can talk about that during your testimony. Just talk to her about what your issues, what your questions are that you have for her. Unless there's something that, is there a reason why you decided to make them, even though I told her to make them? I know you filed a motion requesting that you make them.
The appointments that were already set were no-show, and then there were no reschedulings for 5 complete months. Only after I brought up, or I actually just went ahead and made the appointment, because,
There was a huge gap.
I mean, yeah.
which I asked him. I told him on Talking Parents that you could have just said something. He's like, well, I shouldn't have to say anything. Well, if you've been taking him all these appointments prior to me getting the ability from you to do it, and I'm not saying, like, he's just saying that, oh, you should have done them. Well, that's what co-parenting is. You can tell me that his next appointment is due or whatever, but I didn't get any of that from, prior.
Okay. All right. Okay. I understand. So, go ahead. Ask her. Go back to the topic at hand that you were talking to her about.
So, do you give Alicio his medication?
Every day.
Nine 716 in this courtroom. Farley said she doesn't give him the medicine, that Alicio makes it and gives it to himself.
That's him
She agreed.
taking his medicine.
And
I'm still there
that
watching him.
Sometimes he misses his doses because children are not always good at semantics or whatever. It was the reason why he was telling people he wasn't taking his medicine.
Was a question of her?
So I'm just wondering if Alicio had to made his own medicine and took it himself, or you gave it to him.
I don't personally give it to him, and I used to in the beginning, but he does take it himself. He fills up his cap for the Miralax, pours it in his 6 ounces of water. He also takes his Singular, his Claritin, his Oxybutynin.
And you're there watching?
Yes.
So you ensure that it's taken?
Yes. And even with when they started just giving me little Ziploc baggies of just the Miralax, and that's just the stool softener or whatever, it wouldn't be enough. And I would be there to see that it wouldn't be enough. So, I mean, I'm not saying that, they're purposely not giving me enough, but that's what we're saying. So, like, he has to take a cap full, we fill the cap full, and then, like, the last couple days that I have him or whatever, it just gets, minimal. But That's it. But that's why I purchased my own.
Does Alicio have accidents while in your care?
So when we were at the last GI doctor appointment together, the established from accidents to what you call smears weren't the same thing. So he checked his underwear and he said that's nothing, and that's what he has. Those are his accidents. If he has this little smear on his underwear from him. So when I told your sister that, that's exactly what it was from. But you're saying like he's having a full-on accident? That's not happening.
Okay, so when Alicio is with you, he does not have full-blown accidents
Not anymore.
in his underwear.
No, not anymore. He doesn't have.
When did that stop?
When I first barely got him, like he was still doing it because you were still getting it under control. But after that, he didn't have accidents at my house anymore.
Do you have
And
a date?
he did big poops in the toilet. Showed the GI, because he was saying that shouldn't happen, and the GI was just saying, I think it's just, like the portion is just coming out in full.
Okay. Is there more?
Yeah, he wanted the dates, and I don't know.
I would appreciate it if you didn't put words in my mouth.
You do that to me.
Well, he's cross-examining you.
Oh.
So he's allowed to lead you.
Okay.
But what are you saying in terms of putting words in your mouth?
She just stated that I said he's not supposed to have big.
No, he's
No.
saying the G. She said the doctor.
She just said that I say that's not supposed to happen.
What?
Yeah, because
accidents or not,
yeah,
or
no,
what? I'm so confused. All
Sorry,
right.
the big because like when he would sit on the toilet, he would have a big poop, and he was trying to tell me that it's supposed to be like runny and whatever, and like there's different consistencies. But then I sent him a picture of what he did, and he's like, that is not his, and I hope that's not nobody else's, and you're showing me somebody else's poop. And then when I showed the GI, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's just, we have different, I guess, I don't know if it's different things going on at the house or just different, like, explanations of what either of us are going through. Because then when I take it and show the GI, then he's like, oh, no, that's fine, and blah, blah, like, and that's normal. He's going to, it's going to take some time and stuff like that, but he's just saying that he's making no progress.
Okay.
Okay. So Alicio has had full-blown accidents while in your care.
Not full-blown, a whole thing in his underwear. No, sorry.
So he only smears while he's in your care.
Yes, but it's normal, the GI said. 'Cause you even said that his colon is stretched out, so he's still going to have stuff on his underwear. Is that not what you said? Sorry, I didn't mean that for like that.
So, okay, here's what I'm going to ask you to do. Be more specific with your question about what it is that you're asking her. You said, does he have accidents in her care? Accidents meaning, you're going to have to be a little more specific for me, okay?
Full-blown accident or just smearing.
Okay, so she said smearing. She said at the beginning, I think we've already asked and answered this question, because she said at the beginning, when you were still getting things under control, he was having a problem. But since then, since you've gotten it under control, it's just the smearing. That's what she said earlier. Did you not hear that, or do you want to ask her something else?
It's not under control.
Is it more under control than it was when all this started? And I guess my question...
No, because when all this started, I had him for 2 months.
No, stop. Okay. When you go to the doctor, does the doctor tell you that this smearing can be normal?
Yes. You were there and you stormed out because you didn't like what he said.
Brian?
Did the doctor say that
Yeah,
smearing
that smearing could be normal.
if he's not taking his medication? Yes.
Is that what the doctor said, or did the
Yes.
doctor just say it can
Yes.
be normal because
Yes.
he has distress there, his colon has had issues,
Said
so he
if-
could have
he
smearing.
said if he's taking his medication every day and he's eating a proper diet and drinking plenty of water fluid,
Okay.
that he should not be having accidents.
But not
Accidents.
smearing, the
Right.
difference between the two. So I know we're playing semantics here, but an accident in your mind means what?
Anything on his underwear, basically anything on his anything.
But he has a stretched out colon. So you didn't you say that it's gonna take like a year or more for that to go back?
His
Okay.
his
So we
yes.
just had a GI appointment, was it right before our last trial? Or was it after? I think it was right before.
It was, well, the last trial was like August 23rd, I think. So was it after that or before that?
I think it was before. And we both were there, and his wife showed a picture to the GI, and he said, "Oh, that's nothing." And then Ryan checked Alicia's pants and saw a smear, had the GI look at it, and the GI said, "Yeah, that's nothing. That's just like him
Yeah,
not
probably he didn't wipe correctly.
wipe good."
Yeah.
But he's still on, his regimen, and he said that's what we should be following. He got upset with Ryan because of all the ER visits and X-rays and ER,
He never got
document.
upset
He
Hold on,
he
Ryan.
did.
I'm hearing from
He,
her. We can
with the ER information, he said, those aren't his doctors. I am his doctor. Don't follow what the ER doctors are saying, because they don't know him like I do. And he kept saying, he's like, I don't know what you want me to do because there's nothing wrong with Alicio, and there's no harsh concerns, that he's just doing smearing and he needs to stay on.
Nothing wrong, meaning he's, as long as he's following everything,
Right.
he's okay. He's
Right.
doing okay.
Right. Like, he's
Right.
not
But there
getting
is
worse.
something wrong. Right,
Yeah,
okay.
he's okay. After he said that and said, to stop taking him to the ER visits and that his underwears weren't nothing, he got upset and he stated inside the room, I give up. You can have them. I'm not doing this no more, blah, 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 in front of the doctor, and stormed out. So that's where we were at that point. But then after trial, and he took him to another ER visit. He didn't follow up with Dr. Alhash because Dr. Alhash knows that Dr. Alhash didn't want him taking him to another ER visit. So this just happened after last trial. But there is no immediate, danger or concerns right now. I mean, yes, he's smearing. Yes, he needs to take his medicine. For that issue, I think I thought we were doing okay, but he obviously doesn't. So.
What kind of foods? I'm sorry, I'm just going to jump in here. What kind of foods are you feeding him?
That's another thing. The doctor said that he can have, we stuck with the diet, and then I asked him
Which is
personally,
what?
which was like fiber foods, so like a lot of vegetables, anything fibery is good. Anything wheat is good. Whole wheat is good. So we were sticking to that diet. Then when we took him, he said no, he can eat pretty much whatever he wants, just in a moderation. He's like, don't give him like greasy food, which we don't like take out. We don't do takeout, and like don't excess candy or anything like that. So that's what we do, and that's what we're sticking to. But he can have like red meats now, and pretty much anything except for like greasy foods.
Okay. And I'll have you tell me about what your thoughts are on that. And
You cannot have pretty much anything. You cannot
Pardon?
You can't have pretty much anything. The diet is not supposed to be greasy, sugary, fatty.
right, which is what she just said. Okay.
But
Okay.
you said pretty much you can have anything.
No, but you
Except
just also
for
said
grease.
except for greasy food and sugary food, which is the same thing. Okay. So
Okay, so.
so you can have proteins
The
and
reason why I
lean
got
proteins and
upset at the visit
Mhm.
is because you're sitting there telling the doctor he doesn't have accidents when he's within my care.
when he's in her care.
Yes.
But accidents meaning
And that's why we showed him. And your wife showed him your picture from that happens at your house, and he said that was nothing. So,
does
sorry.
it smearing and not where he's actually going in his pants, correct? I mean,
Well, he just doesn't have full-blown accidents at my house and only smearing at her house. It doesn't work like that.
wait a minute. He does have accidents at your house, or he does not?
Yes.
But-
He has accidents during, like, at the beginning of the week when I get him, he'll be having accidents. And then once the medication gets back into his system and he starts eating
It's your
properly,
allegation then that he's not taking the medicine. Is that what you're saying?
his body doesn't lie.
Okay, I'm just asking the question, Ryan.
Yes, yes.
That's what you're saying. Okay.
Yes. Because at the end of the week, his accidents will stop. They'll slow down and then stop.
Okay.
By like Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. He will not have accidents anymore. Once the and that's how we know also.
I'm not saying it's him, and I'm not saying it's me, but there is a lot of change for him going back and forth. So he can say all he wants that I'm not giving him his medicine, which is not true. But you just got to take in consideration he's going from house to house each week. I mean, it's
He's been going from house to week for some, house to house for some time now.
Correct. But it doesn't mean that it couldn't still disrupt him. But we'll talk about it. Okay, so go ahead and go back to your line of questioning.
Do you put underwear and wipes in Alicia's backpack?
I thought that's what you did for the nurse. You gave the nurse underwear, so then I was sending the nurse underwear.
Do you put underwear and wipes in Alicia's backpack, or do you take them to the nurse?
Well, I didn't take him to the nurse, so I put him in his backpack so that he could take him to the nurse.
Well, it didn't have anything to do with trying to hide his accidents.
No. If you're the one supplying the nurse underwear, but then when he's with, me and he runs out, or when he's, with you, but I'm still picking him up, I'm just sending the nurse with more underwear. But no, I didn't personally walk them in, take them to the nurse so that she had them. I put them in his backpack.
Did the school nurse at Alicia's current school ever call you and notify you that he was out
Yes.
of
Oh, sorry.
underwear, or that he had accidents
Yes, just that he had accident. Or that he wanted to change his
on
underwear.
your week?
Yes.
So he has accidents when he's with you on your week.
It's not an accident, it's a smear. So, but yes, in her language, she said, she doesn't even say accident, she just said, oh, he came in and changed and he's going back to class.
It doesn't work like that, Your Honor. He doesn't just have full-blown accidents at my house and
Well,
only has
I don't know
smearing
what
at
that
my
means,
house, Your Honor.
and that's the problem.
Okay,
If you
Your
say, hold on. Okay.
Can I pass this
I
to you?
don't know what that is, but
Can you look at it, please?
okay, here's what I want you to do. I want you to talk to her, do your questioning of her, and then I'll go through this with you during your testimony, because I don't know what that is. What is that?
It's a picture of a normal rectum
Okay.
and a picture of a fecal impaction with overflow diarrhea.
Okay.
It shows
Showing me.
that a normal anus is closed
Uh-huh.
and that there's stool ready to be passed. And then over here on the other side, the anus is dilated. And then it says softer stools above impacted hard stool, and then large hard stool gets stuck. Soft, watery stools leak around
Okay.
hard stool and soil pants.
Okay.
Right, that's what the GI said.
Okay. Is that where you got that? Was from the GI?
No.
Not this one specifically.
Okay, right. But that's what the GI explains to the two of you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I'm trying to say his body doesn't just have accidents full blown at my house and then only smearing at hers, which he's trying to say.
So what you're saying is what that other's picture shows is what is considered to be an accident, where it would leak out around the hard impaction?
Okay, we're getting smearing and accidents confused.
That's what I'm trying to figure out. So what's the difference?
Okay. Like an accident is probably like a whole, like he went in his pants.
Okay.
Okay, and smearing is just like a skid mark.
But that's what I'm saying. When we went to the GI doctor, he was in my care. They brought a picture from their phone from when he was in his care. The GI compared them and told us both of them were nothing. Because obviously I had him in my care. His underwear, his butt, everything was in my care at the doctor's office. His wife brings a picture, shows the GI, and he shakes his head and says that's nothing. So,
And what was in the picture?
just a smeared pants, like his, poopy pants, poopy underwear, smeared accident, whatever he wants to call it.
Okay. We'll just have to we'll get to this when you want to explain the whole thing to me, but
You know, the problem is she sends Alicia to school with with wipies and underwear in his backpack and tells him not to go to the nurse when he has accidents because she doesn't want it documented that he's
I've
having
never
accidents.
said that. I have
Doesn't
never
want it
said
documented
that.
he's having accidents while in her care, on her week. Because she's saying that he only has accidents when he's with me. He doesn't have accidents at her place, which is completely untrue. That his body does not work. You cannot flip a switch and say, okay, well, I'm gonna have an accident every other week only when I'm with that.
Your Honor,
It
I
doesn't
never
work like
said
that,
that.
Your Honor.
I don't think she's saying that either. So, okay.
She said
I
that.
hear you. No. I think you guys are okay. I'm not going to comment just yet. I hear you and I hear her, and we're going to get to the bottom of it. And I'm going to let you tell me more during your testimony. Do your examination of Ms. Gutierrez, and we'll keep moving this along.
Please refer to Exhibit 71. This is July 25th. I believe was a day after court, July 24th. Is yours highlighted on the emergency room report?
Oh,
It says he does have a history of soiling his underwear
Yeah.
somewhat frequently. Okay. And then what was the reason for that visit?
I don't remember when this was, but it does say right here, Alessa took Alicio to ER to see if we were telling the truth.
And then Exhibit 72. At mom's, where it says, at mom's request, the KBUB was obtained. You see that?
Mm-hmm.
It was reviewed by myself as well as the radiologist. What does it say there? It says it showed non-specific gas pattern with no concerning findings. There was a moderate stool in the left colon consistent with stool impaction, correct?
Yes, but that's when he had it.
Okay. So did you write me on Talking Parents saying that the ER doctor says Alicia was fine?
No, I stated that they saw a lot of gas in his x-ray and that they didn't find no, like, severe constipation or compaction.
That's what you said? Right here it says there was moderate stool in the left colon consistent with stool impaction.
I see that. You just read that.
But you told me.
Because when I was there, they didn't specify on that. They didn't tell. They just said no, he's not compacted.
So they didn't go
Impacted.
over the X-ray with you?
They did. I'm telling you what they told me. Were you at this visit? No, you weren't. Thank you. Okay,
You told
so
me
I was just
after you arrived.
right because you did it to me all the time. But anyways,
Immediately after court, when the doctor said, the judge said we are to co-parent, nobody is to schedule any appointments without the other person knowing. You immediately went down to the ER and didn't tell me until after you were already being discharged. Then you told me Alicia was fine on Talking Parents.
did you tell me about his
You
ER
did not
visit
say
this
anything.
after
You
this
didn't say
last trial?
anything about moderate stool in the left colon consistent with stool impaction.
Right. They showed me the X-ray.
I don't think there's a question pending yet.
Okay, that's fine. We can move on.
Well, just ask her a question.
All right. Why would you tell me that Alicia was fine?
Because that's
says
what they
right
told
here.
me.
That's what they told me?
That's their words were he looks fine. He doesn't look severely impacted, but that he has a lot of gas, and it's probably due to all of the greens and fibery foods that he was eating. Sorry, it doesn't state all that on here, but like I said, you weren't there.
It showed non-specific gas pattern.
Okay.
Did you not say that right here?
Objection. The best evidence for what she said in this Talking Parents message and what is in the medical record from the ER visit are the actual documents, which are Exhibits 72, and, 72 and 73.
Oh, I don't have 73.
Well, I mean, he doesn't have. That's the best. You're talking about. Are you making a best evidence objection?
Yes.
I mean, it's
But
not
he's
really a best
quizzing her
evidence
on-
rule of application, but he can ask her about what she said in those messages. I don't think that that's what he's doing. I mean, go. Are you going to the messages? Or are you going to the
No, I'm
doctor's
just going to go
record?
to another one because I'm pretty sure we already understand what went on there. Exhibit 88. Sunrise ER visit 9/7/2016. You took Alicio, correct? under findings and impression, does it say moderate to large volume of fecal material is seen throughout the colon?
Yes, it says that.
Okay. Did you send me a message stating that Alicia was clearing up and was fine?
Yes.
Okay. Why would you send me that message?
Because that's what the doctor told me. She came in. Yes, that's what I told you.
Alright. Next. Let's see. Okay, Exhibit 118. It is the 4th page under trauma report result. I believe it's highlighted.
No.
Exhibit 118, 4th page.
It's not highlighted.
Okay. Can you go down just under midway where it says genitalia in capital letters? Are you sure where that-
Oh, I see it. You want me to read it, you said?
That's fine, I'll read it. I did look at the anus. It is moderately dilated and the opening looks bigger than you would normally think. The sphincter should be closed down and it is not. I did not do a rectal exam. I could see the stool swelling of the general area as well as in his underwear. It is obvious that he is back on the Miralax right now, and he is only having liquid stools rather than any of the hard stools. I did not see fissures or blood. I did not do an x-ray. Indeed, it shows marked. I did do an x-ray, and indeed it shows marked amount of stool, and then a lot of air backed up in the colon and the liquid stool in the descending colon. I suspect a lot of stool I am seeing is backed up in the small bowel, which is concerning, and the rectal area is also impacted.
Was this from All Hush?
No. This is UMC. This is the UMC Children's ER. July 13th. So it's saying the sphincter, his nerves, he can't control. So he has accidents. You can't control him, basically.
But it was from the ER, right? Yeah, UMC.
Did I notify you in any way, shape, or form that I was taking Alicio to UMC ER on July 13th?
I'm not sure. I'm sorry. You probably did.
Sure, I did. Did I update you on what happened at that visit?
I don't know. You probably did.
I did. That's correct. Okay, then, yeah. I don't know when would be an appropriate time if you would allow to take a look at the letter I got from an expert on Alicio's issues and his opinion in the matter. Professional
So is
opinion.
Alhash not an expert?
Yeah, he is. He's just a
don't
third
have-
party that doesn't know you or me.
But you sent him all your information and what's
I
going on.
sent them all Alicio's.
I'm going to have you give a copy of that to Ms. McFarlane before we leave today. It's not going to be dealt with today.
Okay.
The problem is, and that's, again, this is all the discovery issues that we've been dealing with. And I know you're not a lawyer, and I know you're doing this on your own, but typically there are rules that you have to follow with regard to when an expert is disclosed, when the report is disclosed. And that was when I commented before, like it would be nice to have had an expert. And actually the expert has to come in and testify typically as an expert. So unless someone stipulates to what the report says, which that's why I'm going to have you give the report to Ms. McFarlane before we leave today, and have Ms. Gutierrez look at it. And she may not disagree with whatever the expert says. She might, or whoever this person is. So I'll have you do that, and then we'll talk about it back, because we're definitely coming back. So anyway, you have more questions for her?
I believe I can wrap it up now.
Okay. All right. Yep, you want to take a look at your list and make sure you've covered everything, and
I'm pretty sure.
yeah, okay.
We got good.
Okay. All right.
Pretty evident.
Ms. McFarlane, do you want to start questioning her on cross, or do you want to stop?
My preference, if all he has left in his case in chief is his own testimony, is for him to complete that and rest his case, and then I'm prepared to begin next time.
Okay, so what she's going to do then is reserve her questioning for her client to just include it when she questions her in her own case in chief. Okay, so she'll ask her questions about what you talked to her about, and plus she'll include the questions that she has for her in their case. So we'll let Ms. Gutierrez get off the stand, and then what I want from you, and you might need to gather yourself, and we can take a break to let you do that. But basically, I want you to go through everything and tell me from start to finish, from your perspective. It's sort of going to be in a narrative format. I may ask you a few questions to guide you, to keep you focused on what we're looking for here. But obviously, your job is to present your case from your perspective with regard to what you believe is in your children's best interests, and what facts you think are important for me to know from your perspective. Okay? I think you could probably stay there. You have a lot of information there. I don't know if we need to have him up here. You don't have a problem with him staying down there. But if you want to take a quick 5 minutes to sort of gather what you plan on doing, then I'll give you a break. Take another one. It's been about an hour now, so take another break, and then we'll start back up with you, okay?